Hey, it's Saul with the Stock Market Trading Watch List for Thursday, August 18th, 2011. Got a lot of stuff to look at today, so I'm going to breeze through some of it. If I'm going too fast, don't forget you can always pause and rewind and all that stuff. So let's start with the VIX. The VIX has a bull flag back to the 20 EMA, back to previous resistance, which is now potential support. Now, I am a technical analyst, okay? I like to look at charts to make my decisions on market timing and trading decisions, etc. However, I'm not one of these purists that are going to say, whoa, a chart's a chart, and the VIX is in a bull flag, so that means that the VIX is going to spike here and the market's going to collapse. Yeah, I don't do it with stuff like the VIX, which is more of a timing kind of index. Now, I do look at important levels such as previous highs and lows, taking out previous highs and lows, testing them, stuff like that, because I think that's important as far as an overall sentiment sense, okay, in the market. But, I'm not going to sit here and say the VIX is saying that we're going to go lower, so we're going to go lower. I think it's interesting to look at the pattern, but I think if we're going to go lower, it's because the market is going to go lower, not because the VIX is in a bull flag. Okay? All right, great. The SPY. All right, two scenarios. And I do the SPY video on the blog, so you can check that out as well. But here's the deal. My roadmap that I have out that I think the market's going to follow is that we get a dip. I do not think we go back to the lows right away. I think we get a dip that's buyable for a trade back up to the next zone of resistance at a minimum. I do not think we are in a bull market anymore. I do not think that we're going to just rip to new highs, okay? But I do think that we could get a tradable second part to this bounce. Okay, this was a pretty sharp move down. That takes some time to digest, and I think that that's what's going to happen. Now, if we start selling off and the volume's coming in hard and the breadth is coming in heavy to the downside, then you know what? I'm going to change my map. I'm going to take out an alternate route, so, as it were, okay? So, that's just my scenario. Now, a third scenario, rather than a dip down, okay, is that we just consolidate here and then we try to break higher here. So I know that's kind of like giving three different scenarios here. The one that I think is more likely is a dip down. Okay, get some aggressive short stock, and then we bounce. Like I said, I don't think we're going to new highs. I don't think we start a new bull leg. I just think that, we're going to continue to correct. And because of the volatility we had on the downside, that could lead to some range. So that's what I'm looking at overall in the market. And, we can go through the other indexes, but basically they all look the same. Okay, are we going to try to push? Or are we going to push down first? Here's the Russell, same deal. Okay, looks a little bit different, I guess. More of a consolidation. Here's the Dow. Okay, the Dow tried to break but couldn't get it. Kind of looks like the SPY. All right, so let's see. I mean, do we roll over here, and does the volume come in, or is it just, like I said, a correction inside a correction? Now let's look at some major indexes. Okay, here's the SOX. Like, this is what I am looking for in the market here. Just like a little drip down that maybe finds some potential support. Banks do not look nice. Okay, they look like they're in a continuation pattern here. And that doesn't mean that the market has to necessarily collapse if the banks do, okay? Yeah, they do have some leadership, but the market doesn't exactly mirror what's going on in the financials, right? No matter what anybody will try to tell you, that's not the case. All right, yeah, they do have influence, but it's not the be-all, end-all. So here's the brokers, right? A little consolidation here. So do they break out here and try to test the 20, or do they break down and roll over? Okay, let's look at somebody wrote in and wanted to look at healthcare. So healthcare looks like it's wedging up. 200-day and the 20 EMA, both potential resistance up there. Cyclicals. Okay, not much going on here. Biotechs. Look at oil. Okay, oil is in a mini coil here. So if it breaks here, watch the 20 EMA. If it dips, you got 132 and change, and you got 130.15, and you got 128.13 as potential support points. Okay, and like I said, the 20 EMA above as a short-term resistance. Let's look at GLD. Okay, GLD looking like it wants to try to get back over 175, but note the volume divergence here. Okay, could be a small double top. I like to see more candles in between the peaks or the dips, right, if it's a double bottom. But in this case, a double top. I like to see more candles, but just keep your eye on that. SLV, all right, at resistance here, the middle of this big red candle. If it gets above, watch 40, and then potentially a retest up there. All right, let's look at some stocks. Got a request to do some Intel analysis, so that's what I'm going to do right now. Intel, okay, this is basically what Intel looks like over the past 2 years. It's in a range. Okay, this yellow line is the start of a breakaway gap. So we had the breakaway gap back here in July of 09, and then we've just formed a range. And for Intel, you know, I guess this is a wide range, right? It's not a real volatile stock. So this is the short-term support, the orange line. We came down and we basically tested that on the spike down, all right? And so far we're digesting it. To me, it looks like the overall market. It looks like, yeah, if it dips down, it could offer a buying opportunity for a trade, but you know, we got resistance coming here from 4 key moving averages: the 20, the 89, the 50, and the 200. My trading plan, and even my market analysis plan, as long as we are below the 200-day, I cannot have a bullish bias. So I don't sit here and go, this is a great buy here. You know, that's not the way I do my analysis. So to me, you know, look at this pattern here, okay, which is the last time we were down at these levels. We came down, then we had a testing pattern, and then we broke out, all right, and we had wound up breaking out on a nice gap. You know, this doesn't look like that, all right? Maybe this part looks like this, but we don't have the test down again. So to me, you know, this is a real tricky trade. And of course, you have to read the disclaimers at the beginning of the video. None of this is advice. I'm just giving opinions. But, you know, right here, I mean, maybe if it dips down or if you like it in here, you know, and you're looking to get in, that's fine. But you really have to be conscious of this resistance here. So very tough for me to say, okay, yeah, it'll just rip right through it. Maybe it tests it, pauses, and then gets through it. But you have to decide what your holding period is and what your commitment to holding this is. All right, so that's the Intel analysis. Let's look at some other stocks. Amazon, all right, tried to come out of this little coil here. Didn't get far. Still think the 200-day if the market shows some weakness. All right, Netflix. All right, watch the 200-day as potential support. Also have this level down here at 221.50, maybe a little double bottom here with the 200-day. So far doing a good job holding above that, but we'll see. Baidu looks a little sloppy to me. Sina, looks like they did report. After hours, they were up nice. We did come down to the support zone we were watching, and I didn't get a bounce in the middle intraday. But after hours, obviously, it's up. But, you know, that's just a guess, unless you're using options. All right, just saying, oh, okay, it's at support, let's buy it and try to hold it over earnings is just ridiculous. Okay, so unless you're using options and you have set risk, you know, it's very dangerous. All right, let's look at some of the ags here. Okay, here's potash. Looks like it could be running into a little trouble here. You see the rejection candle there. Dow Chemical. Okay, to me, this looks like a bear pattern, volume drying up here. Okay, again, like the market, if it wants to push up, maybe it can get to the second zone of resistance here, but any weakness, this thing could just fall over, right? It looks like it's like something leaning over, getting ready to fall. Okay, BTU, Okay, this again looks like kind of like the market, right? Dipping down here. CBI. Okay, same deal. Hit the 200-day, broke above it, but then nope. The next day, kind of dipping in. Rackspace. Yeah, into the 20 EMA, the beginning of the week, and rejected. All right, once again, doesn't form a high or low here and try to push. The Goog. Okay, the Goog in a inside day for Wednesday. The market shows weakness. Watch this to retest the low end of this range on here at 525.50. I still think this gap gets filled. Came a little shy. It fills at 528.94. So watch that. Obviously, if it doesn't have volume backing it up on the downside, the support may hold and we could get a reactive bounce, but we're below all the moving averages here. In my opinion, Google looks weak. Apple. Okay, Apple showing relative strength over the moving averages in a little coil here. So does it dip down or does it break, right? That other scenario I was talking about, maybe the market just wants to kind of push out of its range. I'd be watching Apple here. Okay, if I move back here to the 393.40 area, that's about 13 points up there. All right, so that's it. Thank you very much to everybody that sent in their requests for stocks to look at. Hopefully providing a little variety here. Oh, let's do Goldman. Sorry, forgot Goldman. Light volume here, coiling inside narrow range doji on Wednesday suggests that this, get rid of that, this could be ready to expand one way or the other. And wait and see on this one, but a real narrow range candle here suggests that we have a volatility wind up, so we look for expansion from here. News still rules, so let's see which one of my scenarios on the market plays out. Have a great trading day on Thursday. I'll talk to everybody again on Friday.